Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. Oh, Julie.
Hi.
I was like, I'm just going to go it alone until Tara comes, and Julie's doing
Oh,
squash things. So,
welcome to my car. I'm sitting here in my car. I'm trying to move my seat back a little bit as far back as it'll go.
just so
So
everybody knows, like, I was legit sitting in here by myself, and then all of a sudden Julie popped on. That was very surprising.
I am here
Um,
at a very rainy country club somewhere in
yeah, it's
Westchester.
a really crappy day. The
It
weather is
is.
really disappointing. I'm like, Saturday, come on, man.
I know.
And it's about 2 degrees in my pre-war apartment this morning, hence why I have like 5 layers on and a winter hat.
I have my coat on. I have a sweatshirt on. I have my butt warmers on. I have my heat on back to make even hotter in this car. This is how committed we are, you guys, to this whole
Right?
enterprise.
It's
Really
I know. I'm
kidding.
like, I hope I don't look as tired as I am.
Michelle and I were up till Michelle, 2 a.m. this
I
morning?
think the last text I sent you was around
Yeah.
2.
Gossiping about this whole Ryan, Lisa, Olivia Newsy
Oh,
thing.
it's
This-
it's it's
Olivia
something. Oh, Tara's here. Tara's here. Let me just grab
Hi.
Tara, throw us in.
Well,
Hello,
Hello,
good
welcome,
morning.
hello.
Sarah.
Oh my gosh. What a crazy 24 hours, man.
Like,
I'm like,
We were
what
just
that?
saying, I was up till like 2 a.m. with this whole Ryan, Lisa,
yeah.
Newsy thing because the new chapter dropped.
Julie, we're losing you a little
Oh
bit. You
yeah,
got,
you
I
cut
think
out.
you,
You said I
yeah.
heard Liza and dropped.
So the
Can you guys hear
second
me?
part of the Ryan Liza saga, if anyone's following this, the Ryan Liza Olivia Newsy saga. First of all, the guy's going to make a bajillion dollars on his Substack. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
because
Oh,
it's the second part's behind a paywall. So, the first part he's telling. Hold on, I'm going to take Julie out and then put her back in. I think
I'm
there she
here.
is. There you are. The
Back.
first part was, about his breakup with Olivia Newsy, and like Olivia had just so people it's like dumb, but whatever.
well, does
She
everybody know? Like, do people know? I think
Yeah,
she's
that's
very
kind of what I was
Washington
like.
insidery. So,
Yeah,
you know what I
like
mean? A
this
lot of
time
people don't
last
know.
year, a little bit before, I guess it was like probably November, October of last year, it came out that she was having some sort of affair with
Cyber
RFK,
affair, right?
cyber affair with RFK Jr. And then she kind of went into hiding like for about a year and was like going to write a book or something. And then the New York Times, Jacob Bernstein at the New York Times wrote this profile on her. And I'm just like, why? Why would you do this?
Well, no,
Um,
she got hired by Vanity Fair
oh,
to
right.
be
That's,
their
I guess
West
that's
Coast
why.
correspondent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
and
thing
she has a
about
new
this
book coming
is
out. That's why.
right.
Yeah.
So people understand because this is a little bit like political media insider gossipy. So this is why you guys should care. Olivia Nunzi was a young, like hot, up and coming, really fantastic writer. She actually is a very talented writer, and she does these long form profiles on candidates and things like that. Well, and her and Ryan Lizza, who is a political reporter in DC, worked for Politico and others and things like that. I believe he worked at Politico. And they got together. He's a little older than her, just saying. Okay.
A lot
And they were
older.
A lot
I
older.
know, I'm saying this in jest. He's like almost 20 years older than her. And so they were like a political journalism power couple, kind of sorta in DC. And they were together all the time. They were supposed to write a joint book about either the Trump campaign or something.
Yeah, it was about like the election or
Yeah, it was like
something.
one of
Yeah.
those like insider election books, and then that fell apart. And they were engaged. They became engaged, but then that fell apart, and then there started to be trouble in paradise. Well, she was writing a profile on RFK Jr. And come to find out, she ended up having this like weird, claiming it was never physical, cyber affair like with him, where it was about like text messages and all this, where they were having like this weird thing. And she started talking all about how she became so like in love with RFK Jr. So everyone was like, wait, what? So she
Yeah.
got fired from her job. Ryan Lizza was like, I'm sorry, excuse me, what? because they were engaged, okay, while this was happening.
Yeah.
So they broke up very
And
publicly.
RFK Jr. is very married also.
Right, very married to Cheryl Hines. And again, very considerably older than her. Okay. He's like grandpa age for her. And so this is all like, what the fuck? So Cheryl Hines, she denied that anything like this ever happened. And there were a lot of details that none of us ever want to know about.
No, I learned things
It's
yesterday. I
like
never.
very like novella. So anyway, so then she kind of went into the abyss, into exile for months and months and months, because of course she was writing a book about this. Well, while she was in exile, Vanity Fair decides to hire her, and which was to the shock of everyone because she compromised her journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
To do this. You can't like get involved with your subject. It's not okay. So now a whole new tranche of things have come out because she started at Vanity Fair, some like excerpts. I don't know if it's from her book or what reignited this now. It's the book, right? So there's excerpts from the book that are coming out about like more detail. And like I said, she's a really good writer. So
she is beautiful writer.
I'm not going to take her talent as a writer.
No, she's very talented. Listen, I mean, that's what people like. Keith. Okay, so just people know also before Ryan Lizza, she had this relationship with Keith Olbermann, who she started dating when she was 19 and he was like 53.
Yeah.
And he was paying for her apartment, paid for her school. And he admitted that how he got to know her is he saw her pithy, witty dialogue on Twitter, and that's how they met. So like her writing, yeah. And her writing has gotten the attention of people. So
some folks.
Yeah.
And what's sad about this is that she is talented and doesn't need to sleep her way around to get opportunities, which is the sad part about this, because it reinforces a certain trope about pretty women getting how they get to their positions, and that's not and their opportunities, and it's like it's a shame. It really, I'm sad about this whole thing. I mean, I'm like, why? You didn't have to. Clearly, she's got daddy issues and hasn't gotten them resolved. But it's like so now there's more information that came out that not only did she do this thing with RFK Jr., but apparently she had an affair with Sanford, Governor, what's his name?
Mark Sanford
in South Carolina, when she was doing a profile on him. So it's like, oh, come on. So all of this has kind of been breaking this week. And then Ryan Lizza, they're in a very ugly, very, very ugly back and forth. I don't think they're in like some kind of legal litigation.
Well, yeah.
No, they're not. They dropped it. But wait, you missed the best part, which is that at midnight last night, which is why I was up till 2 a.m.
Oh yeah. So I handed over to Julie because I was not awake at midnight last night.
Dropped. So I'm, just hanging out, trying to go to sleep because I have to beat the stupid squash tournament at the crack of dawn this morning, which is why I look like I haven't slept, because I haven't slept. At midnight, this new thing drops, this new chapter drops, because he's doing this in installments for Ryan Lizza. I have to say, it is
smart.
Chef's kiss on several things. One is revenge as a dish best served cold. He waited until her book came out. He just stuck it to her that day. But two is he's now the number one person on Substack. Literally overnight, he has made $1 million on Substack because he's serializing.
Guilty.
Yeah. He's serializing this whole thing. And he's basically going into minute detail of the stuff that RFK Jr. wrote to her. And my first thought when I read this is, I typically don't feel sorry for Cheryl Hines, but I was like, wow, this is like, I'm going to take my coat off in this car, but this is like,
he's a serial
cheater. I'm with you, Sarah.
It's one thing to be a cheater. It's another to have your wife humiliated this way.
Well, she's asking for it at this point. She's known.
The point is, I learned some new terms last night that in retrospect, I wish I had never heard of.
Guys, no. Don't.
I'm not going to repeat them here. But
just one. I want to know.
So I
I know. I'm like, oh, my parents watch this.
No, I mean, I can tell you the word. I'm not going to describe what it is. Let me
No,
go
yeah.
back.
You can
Yeah.
Word.
Hold on. So close, you
Felcher.
guys. Hold on. I'll
Felcher.
find it. What is it?
Felcher,
Felcher.
right?
Felcher.
I don't know what that is.
You
Yeah,
don't.
you don't want to know.
Listen.
Oh my God.
Listen, you guys. Tara asked me to say the word. I urge you not to make the mistake that I did and look it up. I'm serious.
Oh,
Do not,
God,
under
you know
any
they're going to.
circumstances, do not look up this word. I blame Tara Setmayer for even going down this rabbit hole, for making me say this.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Someone said it's called
do
bone
to
sex
yourself
Saturday.
what I did to, because then you wake up in the morning looking like this, which is a combination of disgust, horror, and kind of curiosity a little bit.
Oh my God. I can't.
You
My
guys,
dad just texted me. I can take it.
Mr. Kitty, I am so sorry. I mean, to say sorry, Julie's dad does not begin to describe what I'm.
Right.
Oh my God.
My level of apology if my father happens to be watching.
Oh my
yes.
God. Well, listen, this is the kind of Saturday coffee and conversation we should be having, to be honest,
this is-
because we all need we need a little reprieve.
Well, yeah,
We
that's
need a
why.
little
That
reprieve.
is why.
This is-
Never would I ever subscribe to Ryan Liz's Substack. I subscribe to like 2 Substacks. One of them is Jimmy Costa, like paid. One's Jimmy Costa, and one is like some young woman who makes recipes in one pan.
Right.
And I
not
was
a trad wife. Not
No.
a hidden trad wife.
no, she's a chef who actually was diagnosed with MS, and so she can't work in a restaurant anymore, and so she makes the stuff at home. And I'm like, she's so good, and I was like, okay, I'm going to subscribe to her Substack.
And worthy of helping her career.
Very worthy. And then I was like, God damn it, Ryan Liz. But I was like, but I need something. I need something that's like, like an Us Weekly, People magazine, but for us. Like, I just,
Oh my God. So God bless our folks in the comments who are chatting amongst themselves about what this means. And so I'm finding out more information. And all I know is that BJG said a gay friend referred to this act as shrimping because the taste is like shrimp. Oh my God.
No, listen.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Tara. Don't do it.
I'm taking my Live in the Sunshine mug that I got at the thrift shop yesterday, and I'm leaving.
BJG said she loved his boiled Mel Gibson looking ass.
All right, Tara, take that mug, immediately walk over and pour some whiskey in it. This should not be even coffee conversation. This should be like after dark conversation. I'm like, I'm looking around, literally waiting for my son to come into this car. I'm like, oh my God, we have to finish this discussion before he comes here because I don't need him learning all these terms.
I'm horrified. So just so that people understand, I'm interviewing Marcus Flowers at 11 on my Substack. So I got to hop because Marcus, for those who don't know, he ran against Marjorie Taylor.
Yes.
So
I immediately
a lot of
thought
people
of
want to
him.
know what Marcus is thinking.
Yeah.
So at 11 o'clock, I'm jumping over to my Substack
to
interview Marcus. So I'm like, I'm going to be half lit because I'm telling you right now, I'm about to put Sambuca in this.
As one should.
You know what?
Honestly.
One should. Unless, like, do not go to Google before you interview Marcus because
I'm not. I'm not. I don't want my brain.
And by the way, I gotta tell you. So I was speaking of Mark Sanford. So the news broke about her and Mark Sanford last time.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking I was on Abby Phillips' show with Mark Sanford, maybe like I don't know, a few months ago, whatever it was, and he was the nicest, kind of most like vanilla guy in the world. And I'm thinking, like, I remember thinking in my head, I was like, this is the guy that did the whole Appalachia thing. Like, I couldn't come
that guy.
We have to remind people Mark Sanford was a Republican up-and-comer governor in South Carolina before Nikki Haley days, who disappeared for like a couple days, and his staff didn't know where he was. And then there was rumors going around that he was having an affair. And so, come to find out, he wasn't walking the Appalachian Trail taking a little hike. That was his excuse of where he was. But he was actually like in South America or somewhere, wasn't he?
Argentina or Brazil or somewhere.
Argentina, right. In Argentina, he was having an affair with some Argentinian woman, and he was down there with his paramour, and got caught. And that was the lie. And if I Did his wife stand by his side? Or
No,
she was
no.
one of them that said "fuck off." Right.
It was,
So
yeah.
she did not. So his wife and his 4 kids, I believe he had 4 kids, right? 4 boys. She was basically like, no, because he tried to do the typical political thing, like, I'm so sorry, and I had a judgment or whatever the fuck, right? And his wife was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna stand by you on this. You humiliated me and my family.
Yeah.
So he had to go off into the Appalachian Trail political exile wilderness for years and rehabbed his image and came back and ran for Congress.
Right.
And won. And then he was like an anti-Trumper. Right? Wasn't
Yes,
he one of the guys who was like,
he was
not
a
okay with
totally
Trump?
rational anti-Trumper. He was like one of the good guys. But the reason I tell the stories, the reason I'm telling stories, I'm sitting next to him and I'm looking at this guy, and all of course I can think about is the whole Appalachian Trail thing, and I'm thinking, I didn't sense that he had it in him to like be that guy, because you never know, obviously, right? But he's so vanilla, he's so like nice and and all of a sudden this Olivia Newsy thing, I'm like, I mean, like, I guess, what's the phrase? Like there's a bolt for every screw or something. I forgot what it is, but like there's somebody for everybody.
Term.
Oh, I might have made that up, but because felching was not enough. But
it's felching, not felcher. Got it. Yes. Felching. I guess a felcher would be a person who.
This is Lisa's "The Sun Also Rises." Oh my God! Comment of the year. It is written a bit in Hemingway prose.
It is actually. And Ryan Liz is a very good writer. Like, I'm reading through this.
Oh, he's an excellent writer.
Like, this is actually. Yeah,
like, that's right. I couldn't remember who else he worked for, because he worked for New Yorker, then he went over to Politico, and he was. I mean, the last time I saw Ryan Lizza was at last year, 2024, at a White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like a pre-White House Correspondents' Dinner weekend, like pre-get-together that Simone Sanders throws every year. And he was there with Eugene Daniels, who is so fab. fab. I love Eugene.
Oh, yeah.
Everything about Eugene is fabulous.
Yeah.
I love him. Anyway, so we were all together, actually drinking whiskey, talking about kind of like the election. And he was getting ready to go see Civil War. And I had just seen
the movie, right?
And I said to him, "Be prepared," because he was going to interview the either the producers or the directors or somebody, because I think it's a 2024 movie, right? So I was telling him, I'm like, dude, I went to see it by myself, and it was intense. So that's the last time I saw him, because I had a friendly relationship with Ryan. We used to be CNN political commentators together, which is where I used to see him and Olivia all the time in the green rooms, because they'd be together, and she would do on-air stuff too sometimes. Rafi has entered the chat. He's very interested in this.
Hi, Rafi.
So anyway, that's the last time I saw him. And then when the whole thing broke, I sent him a text message and was basically like, because he's the victim here, if we're gonna do it like that, he's kind of like, like, this is nuts. But he's taking it pretty well. If you all things
I gotta say, I mean, gossip aside, like, Anna Wintour had to approve this hire at.
I don't understand.
So all the way. So I get it. It's right, because people are gonna read what she writes. A, she's a great writer, but B, she's the story now. So people are gonna be like, ooh,
look at you, Michelle. You paid money to read the rest of the thing.
I know.
Subscribe. They're gonna put her stuff, behind a paywall, and people are gonna want to know. You know how it is.
I know.
I'm really sorry, Julie's dad will save us.
not from something that has to do with shrimping. I don't know.
not from felching. But I have to say,
please do. You should.
I think my husband's in the gym. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'm doing it. This is a morning, if any, for it.
Yeah.
If I had some, I would put it in mine.
If I were in the parking lots and I'm somewhere in Westchester, I'd be going to a bar right now. One was open.
But the thing is, and he did say, Ryan Lizza said in his, I think it was part 2, right? I don't remember. It all goes together. That he has since met someone new and has a new person in his life, and he's in a great relationship, supposedly in a great relationship. And he's like, I didn't want to have to do this. And then she, started talking, and, he's like, she's making me do this. you know, I I just, there was another reporter on Twitter this morning again that was screenshotting the Keith Olbermann stuff here because Ryan Lizza said in part one that how he and Olivia got together was that she was in some sort of like weird relationship with Keith Olbermann when he was trying to get out of it. And so, he came to her rescue and was like helping her get out of it. But again, like Keith Olbermann was paying for her West Village apartment,
Yeah,
paid for her school, $15,000 worth of jewelry, designer clothes, like all kinds of stuff. I just, and again, he was like 53 years old and she was 19. Like that's weird. And I feel like Keith Olbermann's not a good guy, and everyone maybe should not follow him on Twitter and give him clicks, because the more I know about this guy, I'm like, oh, gross. No, not a good person. Sometimes I'm like, go to therapy. Let's see. I missed it. There you go. Good.
Well, Keith Olbermann has not commented yet. I'm just looking at his Twitter, which is interesting because he was commenting in the other stuff. I got
well, right.
Is he married? I hope not.
Who, Olbermann? No.
No.
Olbermann has a history of dating college women.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
He's
I've never been a fan of his. So even when he was
No,
on
he's obnoxious.
sports, like ESPN or whatever, never.
Yeah.
He's an obnoxious.
He's obnoxious. He's
Yeah,
obnoxious.
I don't like him.
And like,
Never calling anybody the worst person in the world. Wasn't that his thing? Where he used to
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, and
like,
Katie Tur has opened up about her relationship with him. She dated him and lived with
Oh, I
him.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and she's like
For
said
years.
that she's talked about it. And she said that experience haunts her to this day. And like then he came out and like started trashing her, and like, I mean, he's just like not a good person. I don't
Yeah,
think.
he's not.
And also, I'm sorry if you're 52 and you're seeking out a 19-year-old, like there is something very wrong with you.
Yes.
There's age difference, and then there's that. Like that's on another. That's on
I
another
don't
level.
understand. Why do you want to fuck your granddaughter?
I think it's like life experience too. Like what life experience?
Right. Like
does
what
she
are you talking about? That's why I'm like, go to therapy and find someone at least closer to your age, like 20 years maybe, not 40 or whatever. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else too about this, and I don't remember. But listen, the fact that, and again, we talked about this yesterday, Julie, is like that Jacob Bernstein wrote that article about her for the New York Times was also just like equally surprising. I'm like, he's a great writer.
Is that the one where she's like the
yeah, she's like blowing in the wind in her convertible. Yeah. Jacob Bernstein, so if people don't know, is the son of Carl Bernstein and Nora Ephron.
Like Watergate, Carl Bernstein.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Woodward and Bernstein.
More relevantly, he's the one who Nora Ephron was pregnant with during Heartburn. If you're the Heartburn book, which is a fabulous book.
Yeah,
the movie. That's who she was pregnant with when she busted Carl Bernstein having an affair with like the wife of the British hat or something. Which, by the way, great book. If anybody has ever not read Heartburn, great movie. Yeah. But the book is such a good writer. Like the movie can't do justice to her writing. Talk about another revenge dish best served cold.
I mean, maybe right. And he also produced and directed a beautiful documentary about his mother, Nora Ephron.
And I met him there.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's called Everything is Copy. And he goes and interviews all of his mom's friends who like didn't know because she didn't tell anyone she was sick. So like it was like really fresh for a lot of these people. And it was, and it's all people we know, like just, from watching movies and reading and things like that. But it's really beautiful. And I like Jacob Bernstein. I think he does great work. I was just baffled why he wrote this, but listen,
I wonder if if he was told to write it that way.
Probably.
I mean, you gotta wonder nowadays the way that.
No, you're right. You're right.
The New York Times is still the paper of record, but we've seen some little kind of editorial decisions.
Listen, they're probably getting a lot of traffic on that article. Like, you know what I mean?
Smirconish spent almost an hour on this yesterday.
Really?
Yes, on his radio show, and he was talking. He interviewed some. I wasn't sure. I came in late when I was listening to it, and he was like, I'm here for it. Like again, we all need an outlet. Everybody,
Right. This is why I'm like, oh yes, I love.
like I mean, everybody's attracted
But
to
this
different
is
things to kind of get that reprieve. For me,
Right.
it's sports and Real Housewives, and
Right,
so it's
right,
like,
right.
you know,
exactly.
But this is
Or
why
morning.
but this is
morning
why
show.
right, but this is why this works for them, right? Ryan Lee's is
Oh,
making
yeah.
a fortune on Substack.
great business.
And she is back in the conversation, and therefore I don't think Vanity Fair. I mean, if this were just journalistic standards, Vanity Fair,
Yeah, they
With-
would in a normal world. hire her.
but not. Well, the question is, does the Times pull the book? Because if the book doesn't disclose, if the book is false, does the Times pull the book? And I think that's what.
Right.
Not the Times. Sorry, does her publisher pull the book? I don't remember who published it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be Random House, but like,
I mean, the details of the things, and there is no chance I'm not even going to allude what was said, but the details that he goes into, and he clearly like has receipts. I mean, it's because it was very detailed in how he
Oh, yeah.
quoted RFK Jr.
Yeah.
and
Well,
things
he's got
that
to
he
cover
was-
himself from defamation. you know what I
Correct.
mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The things that RFK Jr. was writing to her were disgusting.
first
I'm
of all,
no prude, and I was like, I thought I was gonna vomit.
Are we
it's not even
shocked?
that it was, and not even that it was just disgusting. It was like, it was also the kind of like, listen, I am no prude. Like, that's what you write between two consenting adults is between you.
Right.
But it was so like florid. It was also almost like this, like
It was
really, like
it
this
was
is
like predatory almost. Like
I
it
was
was.
gonna say feels predatory.
It
Yeah.
was the things that and the act of what he said he was going to do to her felt predatory. It felt very, or it sounded very misogynistic, but like porny and gross, and it just was like it was disrespectful. Disrespectful. I
There are
know.
people who are into that, right? If you're into that kind of stuff, like, right, there's people that are into S&M and
Right,
whatever the other
right.
stuff. The domination,
Like we're
Fine.
saying
right?
that.
That's your business. But he's
Right.
married. He's a married guy. And so, like, what about
Yeah.
that part of it too? Like, he doesn't give a fuck. We all know the sordid details of his prior marriages and
Yeah. Well, okay.
death of
So
his wife and all that. Like, this guy is such a piece of shit, and I cannot
Yeah.
believe that he's in our administration. Like, I just can't.
Oh,
based on who's running our administration, I absolutely believe it, and I'm surprised he's not
yes,
president. Yeah.
Yeah.
par for the course.
So,
Par for the course.
I want to read. Can I? Because I paid for this
Yeah.
thing. I feel like I need to give this to people. You know, I'm not. The spoiler alert. This is how it ends. Part 2. So I'm just gonna read this. Okay. I asked her to remove her engagement ring. I was surprised by her stunned response. I'm not taking that off, she screamed and began sobbing. I don't want to take it off. As she left, I said
Wait,
something.
What off? I missed the beginning.
So they were engaged, and he's calling the
the ring.
engagement off, and he's like, take your ring off. And she's like, no, I don't want to take it off. And she starts sobbing. Because as she left, I said something that would have enormous ramifications going forward. Quote, people are going to ask me what happened, I told Olivia, and I'm going to tell the truth. She seemed paralyzed with fear, and frankly, I didn't quite understand why. It was only later, when we were deep into what would become weeks of conversations about every detail of what transpired between her and Bobby, who had told her that he demanded, quote, discipline and fearlessness, and, quote, at times, total submission, that she explained her terrified reaction that August morning. Quote, if anyone ever finds out, Olivia told me, I'm afraid Bobby will kill me.
His second wife committed suicide, allegedly.
Right.
So that's how part 2 ends.
I mean, where do you sign up for part 3?
I know.
On Substack, apparently, he's literally.
I know.
I
My
just
God.
checked. He is trending at number, like, he has made $1 million. since
Probably.
midnight last night.
Probably.
Unbelievable.
And
Well,
by the
you
way,
know,
good for him.
I look. You know, you hate to
Showbiz.
monetize. I know you hate to monetize
I
tragedy.
know. I
They do it
know.
all the time. They do it all the time, and you know, well, she chose to get herself involved in this, and you know,
This
actions and
is
decisions have consequences. What are you gonna do? I mean,
Jen
I don't.
Pollock. Jen Pollock is saying he always gave me Robert Durst vibes. You are
Mm.
absolutely correct.
RFK, not Ryan. Let's
Yes,
just
yes, yes. It's RFK Jr. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Robert Durst vibes. That is accurate.
Smirkanish was saying how he thinks that they're going to turn this into some kind of a Netflix series, like a docu-series, something like some streamer is going to pick this thing up and
God
turn it into
help
like
us.
a because
It's gonna.
it's so
I mean,
vicious.
which by the way is going to give Olivia Newsy everything she wants. The celebrity
Of
that
course.
she for her.
Well, right, because before she was a writer, she was trying to be a pop star. She called herself Jailbait and took pictures of herself with cuffs on her wrists, and she had a MySpace page with all her singing on it.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
I did not know this part.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh my God, it all makes more sense now. Even
Yeah.
more.
And by the way, she looked white
This is a
and
very,
different.
this is a very emotionally damaged young woman.
Oh yes. Well, and
Let's-
Ryan
let me-
talks about like invoking the name of her father and how she's like that's low because she has like issues with her dad and whatever. but-
Clearly.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just say this. I knew her when she was little. She interned, or maybe she started. I don't know if she was paid or not at the Tri-City News in Asbury Park for
Oh.
somebody I know named Dan Jacobson, who was the publisher.
Mm.
She's from Jersey?
She's from Monmouth County. She's from the shore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was from she's
She's
from down the shore.
she's a juror. She's from down the shore. And she
Oh, I don't want to claim her as a Jersey.
she has been trying to get places for a really long time. I don't begrudge her at all. But she also interned for Anthony Weiner and then wrote a tell-all about what a nightmare that was. And when she did that, I thought that was really uncool because as somebody who's run campaigns, you don't infiltrate campaigns and then write about it. It's just completely
Is that
not
how she
done.
got her start in
That's
journalism?
That's how she got published by New York Magazine. She published it in New York Magazine. They published it online, and they picked it up. She's good friends with Meghan McCain.
Makes sense. Oh, okay.
Of course. Well, and also if people remember, he was always the person that Rudy Giuliani would text. Rudy Giuliani would like drunk text her all the time, and then she would immediately tweet it out, or she would immediately report it and regurgitate whatever it is that he said to her. And
Makes
it was
you wonder why her?
Right, and she was like the Giuliani whisperer during like all that time. Yeah.
Oh,
I just interrupt for my 13-year-old entered the car.
Okay.
Oh,
we can continue the discussion.
Okay, hello, kiddo.
We can continue the discussion.
Okay,
but we just
got it.
Certain terminology that we learned this morning together. We should probably not.
Yeah, that's no longer.
Sorry.
Received.
well, and here's some gossip. I mean, on top of this, so and I feel like I'm not saying anything that's not being talked about on Twitter now. So Tara, I don't know if you remember this.
Mary Pike, yes. Go ahead.
Same shape for same. Oh yeah. So at the last place that Tara and I were before Seneca Project, there was a person that we worked with who kind of left disgracefully.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And around 2022, I think we learned through the grapevine that Olivia Nuzzi was going to write a profile on him. And because of the drama of the exit, like we kind of knew that this was going to happen. And we knew that also like she was a very good writer. So we were like, oh God, how is this going to go? Yeah. And so it comes out and it's glowing, makes him seem like this genius and like this, that, and then he writes a tweet about her being like, she's the talent of a generation. She's this. And it was this whole tweet. And I remember at the time asking one of our colleagues after we all got, saw it and read it. And I was like, so what do you think? And this colleague said to me, there is no doubt in my mind. I'm not going to say it, but something went down.
Yeah, that this wasn't well.
Right. And I was like,
But yeah,
really? Okay. I mean, now
yes,
looking back, and so
yes.
people are
'Cause
now
that person also has a reputation for being a philanderer. So,
yeah.
you know, it
So
was it.
right.
Oh my God, there's so many. Oh my
There's
God.
so much to right. So
Oh,
people have dug up his old tweet and people are like quote tweeting it and responding to it. So
oh,
there's
they
all
have.
oh yeah. That's
Oh
how
my
I like
God.
remembered about it because it came up on my feed and I was
Oh,
like, "Oh my god."
oh my God.
And
Okay.
so
Oh,
there's all these new comments on it and it was like, "Oh, so you too."
I suspect there's gonna be more.
Also married, by the way.
I
I think
suspect there's
I
gonna
think what
be
he's
more.
doing is serializing all of the men.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's yeah.
And
Oh,
by
this
the
is.
way, I will
Oh,
say this. She has every right to do whatever she
Yeah.
wants to do.
Right, of course. Right.
It's
Your
a little
body, your choice, your life, your choice.
it's a
Do
little yeah, I'm very much
whatever.
living if you
yes.
are engaged, that is between you and your fiance, I don't judge. What I will say is that it's a little different when you're writing stories about people. Because
That's the
that's
problem here.
because that's not fair to the
You're
rest
Yep.
of us.
crossing the professional and ethical
Yeah.
line, and
Yeah.
it's very with public figures. We're gonna talk about it. I mean, people are gonna
Yeah.
talk about it, and we have a right to have an opinion about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel bad for kind of some of the things. I feel a little bit bad for her in that
Mhm.
because she's so emotionally damaged that she has chosen,
Yeah.
she
It's
made these choices in her life, and she didn't have to. She's a beautiful girl. She's talented.
yeah,
She did
she
not
is.
have to go this route, and it's a shame. You know,
Mhm.
it really is a shame. Like as a woman and watching what women go through and what we feel like we have to do to be heard, be seen, be
And in
respected.
this day and age,
You know, like
still.
it's just like there's a larger conversation here about
Yeah.
this. But in the meantime,
And in this day and age,
ugh,
you know what I mean? In this time that we're living in, you know, because you hear stories about pop stars and stuff back in the 80s. Like I remember Madonna used to live in the music building. If you know the music building, it's like a
yeah.
recording, it's a recording slash
Yes, Dax.
practice area. Was that?
Dax 13. Go ahead. The answer is
Oh,
yes.
yeah. So, you know, so it's there was just, you know, tales of like her time and, you know, how she got to know people and living in the music building and stuff. And like, you know, this is all folklore, but it's like the 80s and she was her and she was trying to come up in pop music. I mean, like again, it was a different time and it's and not to say it was right. It certainly was not.
Right.
But like
No.
we've come a long way and it's like to see this now still and again like I
And yet,
just there is like a sadness to it, with the
yeah,
brokenness,
that's what I'm saying. Like
you
she's a
know.
broken woman, and I have a certain amount of compassion for that. It's you know, it's a shame. It's like I wish she had met someone along the way,
Yeah.
a woman that told her you don't have to do this.
Well,
Yeah.
You know?
especially because not that even if you have no talent, you shouldn't do this, but especially because she is very uniquely talented.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
Yeah.
she could become a rock star and could have become a rock star.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
But-
Oh, easily.
But she could
And
She's
not,
one of
her
those people who I
integrity.
think was
she
going to
was
make
not
it whatever she
probably
did.
gonna she probably would not have been the celebrity that she is now. Like think about if Monica Lewinsky had happened now and not in the 90s, she'd be in a reality
Mhm.
show, she'd be making a fortune, she would be in her own right a celebrity, which she of course became anyway. But the point is it wouldn't have gone down.
And so well. Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone down the way it would go down now. And what I'm saying is that I think Olivia is seeking that kind of attention. I think all of this is good for her.
And that's part of the problem. I've said this for many years about how we've gotten here as a society, that bad behavior is rewarded.
Mhm.
Reality TV has ruined our society, and
Gotta
see the way that people respond. They love gossip, they love salacious stuff, and we've become so numb to behavior that is really not okay. But it's been rewarded. It has been
Mhm.
rewarded with celebrity, and I think that
Mhm.
that's a larger conversation and really sad commentary about where we are. Because if you look at the Trump administration and Donald Trump's rise to politics, it's one big fucking reality show every day. And we've lost a sense of decency. We've lost a sense of respect. We've lost a sense of character. We've lost a sense of right and wrong. All those lines have been blurred because someone as despicable and narcissistic and inhumane and indecent as Donald Trump has become president of the United States, not once but twice.
Yeah.
That is a commentary on all of us, not us, all of us,
Yeah.
collective we society, more so than it is on him.
Yeah.
And
The transportation secretary was on The Real World. I mean, it's just, it's.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bigger problem in all of this, and it's like, and here the Olivia Nunzi story and this whole mess is just one small microcosm, example of what's wrong, everything wrong with our country today, in my opinion, just one example.
Well, right. And this kind of, I mean, it's access journalism in the worst form, really. And
that certain somebody wrote a whole long Twitter thread about, and
right,
remember, and he was right,
yes,
but also guilty of it. He's another one that talks
well,
out of his mouth.
That's very on brand for him to
correct
to run his mouth. First of all, run his mouth in a certain state that I don't know, but it never seems rational. But running his mouth, he doesn't lie. Yeah, Sam Buca. He doesn't lie. And he's usually right. However, also guilty usually of what he's accusing other people of doing.
Yes.
And that's the other side of that.
Yes. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, someday. Someday.
If you only knew the half.
Someday, Tara. Someday. But yeah. So there's that's giving us oxygen on this Saturday morning.
Do we want to switch to MTG a little bit, just because?
Yes, we should. So if you're just joining us or have joined us in the last half hour, Tara's going to be jumping here in a moment to go interview the great Marcus Flowers, who ran against Marjorie Taylor Greene. When was this? 2022, I think it was, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And did very well. I mean, here's the thing: that district is like uber red.
35.
Right. I mean, like crazy red. So obviously the first person, at least who I was thinking about last night, the second I saw this news, I was like, oh my God, I wonder what Marcus has to say about this. So I would definitely, when we're done here, I'll be hopping. Are you doing this on your Substack, Tara?
Yeah, my Substack is run Uncompromised.
Okay.
Mary Pike just said, is there any more coffee in that Sambuca?
Just Sambuca with a little splash of coffee.
I know.
So let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene here, because
it'll be live, Mary, live. And then if you missed it, it reposts on Substack.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So go to Tara's. Yeah, go to Tara's Substack, subscribe to Uncompromised, and go check it out over there at 11 o'clock, right? Yes. Oh, good. You have a mug too. That's beautiful.
Do. We have merch.
Oh, nice.
Uncompromised collection is coming. This is
I love
collection too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
I like that.
I just realized I didn't do this on purpose. Actually,
you
I just grabbed what was going on in my
democracy flair this morning. Let's see. Democracy doesn't defend. I mean, yes. Yeah, so that's at 11, right? So people can hop over there. Okay. So 11 o'clock with Marcus Flowers. So before you do that, let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So last night, if you weren't living under a rock, you saw that Marjorie Taylor Greene announced via an 11-minute Twitter video that she is resigning from Congress, gave a whole bunch of reasons why, and it will be effective January 5th, not January 6th, but January 5th. Tara, what are your first thoughts on all of this? Like, what do you, obviously she's not telling us the whole story here, but what do you think is beneath the surface of this announcement?
I think, well, first of all, the first thing I thought was, I cannot go to the movies on a Friday ever. Okay? Because what happens is, every time I try to decompress for a couple hours, some shit hits the fan, and people think. And I said this last night.
No, it's real.
Yeah, because I hopped on Substack Live last night too, because this was too much, and I'm like, okay, crazy. I did not have this on my bingo.
And people want to hear from folks.
Yeah, read this, and so I was like, okay. I'm like, I just got out of seeing Wicked, which was.
You did? Oh, I can't wait to
like it. I mean, if you like the first one was, the first half was a little better than the second half. They had to stretch it, so they had to kind of stuff it with some superfluous things. But but the way that they did it, I
Mm,
was there. It was all the feels, and
I
I'm
can't
so
wait. I can't wait.
you're gonna love it. Anyway, so I'm coming out of that, and the first thing I thought was, this reminds me of why I don't turn my phone off. People ask, like they always say, you have to decompress. You have to like. Sometimes you just have to turn
No,
your phone off and just go do something else. And I'm
sometimes
like,
it's
I
more
try. I
stressful to
really
turn
do.
it off because you're like, "Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no."
I try. I really do. I try. And the only time that I am completely unplugged is on an airplane. And that's
Yeah.
usually only until I can get the freaking Wi-Fi on the plane to
Right.
work.
It's like you're
So,
over the Atlantic Ocean and there is no Wi-Fi anywhere. Yeah.
right. As you know,
Yeah.
right? The last couple trips, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be
Yes.
offline for a little bit. But then as soon
Yes.
as the
You're like,
Wi-Fi kicks in,
I'm going to the top of a mountain, guys." And then like 4 hours later, Charlie Kirk gets shot. I'm like, "Oh my
right. So the first thing I thought, it reminded me of why I have PTSD about turning my phone off domestically ever.
Mm,
Because when I was a comms director on Capitol Hill in 2011,
mm.
I went to the movies. It was May 1st, 2011. I
Oh,
went to the movies
wow.
to go see Fast Five, okay? The fifth
Wow.
installment of Fast and Furious. I actually said, you know what? I'm going to turn my phone off. It was a
'Cause it was a
Saturday
Sunday night or something, right? Or
night.
Saturday night.
It was
Right.
a Saturday night.
White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I may or may not have been on a date. Okay. Like it was a Saturday night. I'm going to the movies and I'm like,
Yeah.
and so like I was
Wow.
like, oh, actually, I wasn't on for that one. No. So I was like, I'm going to the movies. I'm gonna turn my
Mhm.
Blackberry because I had a Blackberry then.
Yep. The
I'm gonna
little
turn my
ball
Blackberry,
on it. Yeah.
which as the comms director for a member of Congress who was very outspoken about lots of things and could say crazy shit at any time, it was a running joke actually. It was a risk. It was a risk. But I'm like,
Right.
it's Saturday night. Nothing's gonna happen, right? Pre-Trump days. I turned my phone off for all of 2 hours, 2.5, I guess. And I opened my phone as soon as I emerge, and it's blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? What happened on May 1st, 2011? We
Mhm.
killed Osama fucking bin Laden. And I said,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my God. By the
Yeah.
time from the movie theater to my apartment, Times Square was filled with people celebrating. There
I
were
was
people in
there.
front
I was
of,
there.
you have great pictures from that actually. There were people in front of the White House celebrating. I had to bang out a statement real quick from the congressman, and I was
Mhm.
like up until wee hours of the morning. And I said, I have PTSD from that point. I said,
Yeah.
never again. I
It was a Saturday, or was it a
It
Sunday?
was the night of the White House Correspondents'
Correspondence
Dinner.
dinner, right, because that's the night that Donald Trump, oh my god, that Barack Obama was, like, making fun of Donald Trump and Seth Meyers was making fun of Donald Trump,
Yes.
and then that night, oh my gosh, that's right. Oh,
So the first thing I thought was because I checked my phone like when we first saw it, and I was like, wait, what? But I couldn't watch the video because I was in the movies. So I was like, okay. So as soon as I got home,
mhm.
as soon as I left the movie theater with my husband, I put the video on to listen in the car on the way home, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And so I was shocked. However, what do I think this is about? I don't think that Marjorie Taylor Greene all of a sudden became this like new person
No.
and had like a come to Jesus moment about how toxic she has been in all of the things that she has done
No.
to help create this, foster this entire
Did you
environment.
watch her video, by the
I
way?
did. I
So,
did.
she said some crazy stuff, the stuff
Yeah,
about
she did.
vaccines, and she
Yes.
said, I mean,
And
like, stop.
January 6th and
Right.
all this stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Reminding us who she is.
Exactly. She's still MTG. All right.
Mhm, mhm.
But the last, so when I was telling people to watch it, I was like, skip the first 8 minutes, watch the last two. Because the last 2 minutes is where she goes scorched to earth and basically explains what kind of goes after Trump and explains what, calls out the hypocrisy of MAGA under
Yep.
Trump in ways that I'm like, this is fantastic. You
Didn't
want to
she
talk
say
about
she feels like a battered wife or something?
she used the term battered wife, which I thought was interesting because I actually used to use that example back in the day. There is a piece on CNN.com when I used to be a contributor for them where
Mhm.
I used the example of an abused wife. And
Yeah.
that's what I said about Republican leaders back when Boehner and all the original Republican leaders were still trying to navigate Trump and they started to like kept making excuses for him. And I'm like, It's like the battered wife that makes excuses for the abusive husband.
Yes.
Just pray
Yes.
and hope it's going to get better, and
Yes.
then it doesn't.
He
And
said he's sorry. He's not going to do it
yes,
again. Yeah.
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 So that part of her statement perked my ears up a little bit, because I was like, that is
Mhm.
a very specific example. She used that on
Carefully chosen.
Mhm. Everything she does is calculated. Let's just
Mhm.
understand this,
Yeah,
people.
she's no
This is not
dummy.
stupid. That's right. Not a stupid woman, wealthy woman, so she can afford to step away from Congress. She'll be just fine.
Yep.
And I think that she is, remember when she was on CNN a couple of weeks
Mhm.
ago, whatever that was, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I don't even know, it feels like 10 years ago. She did not completely denounce Nick Fuentes, and didn't completely denounce some of the anti-Semitic things that she said. And so Dana Bash was trying to get her to do that, take it a step
Mhm.
further, and she wouldn't. She's still
Mhm.
who she is. I think that she's going to run for president on the America First ticket, because I called her last night the Queen of America First.
Mhm.
She made very specific attempts to differentiate herself from Donald Trump, who has sold out America First from their perspective.
Yeah.
In her, she said this. She kind of alluded to this also during her press conference with the Epstein survivors this week,
Right. Right.
right? She kind of addressed that. She took a couple of seconds to say, like, I got elected without Donald Trump's help. Wink, wink. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not indebted to him. I'm the real MAGA. I'm the true America First person. I voted against any money going to foreign wars. I voted
Yeah.
against some of the
Well,
stuff
and
that
she's
Donald Trump
stayed
has
on
done.
message about that. She's never wavered, and she's never
Nope,
wavered on Ukraine. She's never
nope,
wavered on Israel.
nope.
And to your point, the Nick Fuentes stuff, I think Nick Fuentes, and I know I've been saying, like, I watch too much of this young man on his,
Yeah.
I go to his Rumble and I watch, because it's important that we know what he's saying, right? And a lot of what he says
Mhm.
is about it picks up a lot from the left in
Yes.
terms of affordability, housing crisis, healthcare crisis, all of these things, right? And when he has these sort of rational conversations, quote unquote rational,
Mhm.
if you're listening to this and not and not
Yeah.
looking at me doing the air quotes, um, that with Tucker Carlson, they talk about that too. And it all sounds rational until they
Yep.
start talking about Jews and Black people
Yep.
and immigrants and all this stuff. And
Mhm.
there is going to be, because here's another thing that sorry, Julie just said, I'm trying to get on, my Wi-Fi keeps failing. I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. And it's 10:57, so we're gonna finish this up. But um the, there's going to be a small window of opportunity, right? When Donald Trump skedaddles out of here in whatever way he is, whether it's from the earth or from the White House, right?
I'm laughing at skedaddle because of
Oh,
his obsession with that word earlier this week.
oh,
He
he did
used
say that, right?
that 10 times during the McDonald's thing where he was talking about the fighter jets dropping the bombs on Iran. He was like, and they skedaddled.
Skedaddled out of
Skedaddled.
there.
I
Jesus.
use that word all the time, but like,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
such a
But yeah, so there's going to be a short window or a very small window of opportunity for people to fill that space
yep,
and carry the MAGA torch into the future.
yep.
And I think that there's I think you're right. I think that there's probably some kind of conversation or alliance going on,
Mm-hmm.
that they are
And
going to be the rightful owners. And Nick Fuentes and the Charlie Kirk thing, I mean, they had a whole
yes,
rivalry about this as well.
it was no accident that Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes joined forces.
Yeah.
That was not an accident. You don't make a decision as Tucker Carlson to platform Nick Fuentes without some serious thought about that. Okay.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you just don't. So, I mean, and then I'm going to hop real fast, but like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so for my UVA class this week, one of the students asked me, like, what do you see the future of MAGA being here with all of this? And I
Mhm.
said, this is the beginning of the crack up right
Yeah.
now. You're seeing this in ways we hadn't seen before. And there's all these different
Yep.
tentacles here that all these different avenues you're going to see. You're going to see that, you're going to see
Mhm.
the tech bro feudalism guys and trad wife
Yep.
route, right? The Christian nationalist route. You got JD Vance over here. He's not MAGA. He's the
Mhm.
techno feudalism guys
Yep.
and the Christian nationalism wackos. Then
Mhm.
you've got like the Marjorie Taylor Greene America First people. You've got that branch potentially fighting each other, and then you've got like the Charlie Kirk kind of Gilead types. Like you're going to
Right.
see all of this. It's going to
There's
be a
going to be a
bloodbath.
Venn diagram, and in the middle is going to say destroy American democracy. And they're
Yep.
all have that in common, but divide and conquer, right?
Yes.
Divide and
Yes.
conquer. And that's why it's so important that all of us stick together,
Yes.
because this will weaken them. It really will.
Yes, it will.
And
But we have to remain vigilant. We can't sit back and
exactly.
just let them, because they're a lot more resilient than
Mhm.
than we want them to be. They're like, the disgusting aliens in movies where it's like it takes a lot to kill them.
Right.
So it's going to take all of us to take them out in, proverbially, to vanquish this god awful MAGA movement, whatever iteration it may try to branch out to. So
Right.
on that
Right.
note, talking of iterations, and MAGA and America First, I gotta hop over to
Yeah,
my
go
Substack.
everybody go over to Tara's Substack at Uncompromised, and she's going to talk
Yeah,
to Marcus
Marcus
Flowers.
Flowers, about more about MTG. And if you can't make it live, no worries. It'll be posted on my Substack later. But if you can, then come on, hop on over there. I will see you guys later.
Bye, Tara. Bye. All right. So Julie's Wi-Fi is no bueno. So there's just one last thing that I wanted to talk about briefly. It's unfortunately not terribly happy. But I did feel like it needed and deserved just to be mentioned this morning. Today is the 62nd anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. And also this morning, I woke up and in my inbox, I had an email from the New Yorker, just like any Upper West Side liberal. I subscribe to the New Yorker, and at the top was an article by Tatiana Schlossberg. Tatiana Schlossberg is the granddaughter, one of two granddaughters of John F. Kennedy, President John F. Kennedy. She is the sister of Jack Schlossberg, who we all know and is running for Congress and has been very vocal. She wrote a very beautiful essay about announcing that she has terminal leukemia. And I just wanted to, I want to throw this up here. Hold on. Is this right? Yes, here it is. She's 34 years old. And I honestly, when I saw the date, November 22nd, underneath her name, it's terminal. Like this is going to take her life. How she found out, she had given birth to her second child, and the nurse, I think it was one of the nurses or doctors, saw her white blood cell count was like through the roof. And in the last year or so, she has access to some of the best care in the world. And obviously a lot of support from her family, both emotionally and financially, which I'm sure, is very, very helpful. And she's very close with her family, as all that family is. And this is very, very sad. And I actually, when I saw it in my email, in my inbox, I couldn't believe it. But it's just devastating. This is the kind of stuff of nightmares. My heart breaks for her mother, Caroline Kennedy, who has lost her father tragically, lost her mother obviously at much later in life, but lost her mother, lost her brother tragically, and now is going to lose her daughter tragically. I believe this is behind a paywall, but she does spend the second half, and it's hold on, where's this picture? This is Tatiana. And it's the thing is, I have followed her writing for many years. She's very talented. She's a very gifted writer. It's very sad, very, very sad. And I think importantly here, she talks about the clinical trials that she's been through. And she takes that opportunity to torch her cousin, RFK Jr., who, as we all know, has taken his levers of power as the Health and Human Services Secretary to dismantle funding for a lot of this research for cancer and clinical trials. So I'm just going to read some of this. She talks about, during her CAR T treatment, a method developed over many decades with millions of dollars of government funding. My cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., was in the process of being nominated and confirmed as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. So as that's happening, she's going through the worst thing of her entire life. She has a newborn at home who she has not had any time to even get to know, because she's fighting for her life. And, she said throughout my treatment, he had been on the national stage. Previously a Democrat, he was running for president as an independent, but mostly as an embarrassment to me and the rest of my immediate family. Let me just zoom in here. In August 2024, he suspended his campaign and endorsed Donald Trump, who said that he was going to, quote, let Bobby go wild on health. My mother wrote a letter to the Senate to try to stop his confirmation. My brother, Jack Schlossberg, had been speaking out against his lies for months. Now, and again, if you think about all of this, Caroline and Jack speaking so loudly about their cousin RFK Jr., and in the backdrop, they know and are going through this with Tatiana. And it really just gives a new perspective to all of that they were saying. And she says, I watched from my hospital bed as Bobby, in the face of logic and common sense, was confirmed for the position, despite never having worked in medicine, public health, or the government. Suddenly, the healthcare system on which I relied felt strained, shaky. Doctors and scientists at Columbia, including George, didn't know if they would be able to continue their research or even have jobs. Columbia was one of the Trump administration's first targets in its crusade against alleged anti-Semitism on campuses. In May, the university laid off 180 researchers, and after federal funding cuts. If George had changed jobs, we didn't know if we'd be able to get insurance. George, her husband, I believe, now that I had a pre-existing condition, right? Bobby is a known skeptic of vaccines, and I was especially concerned that I wouldn't be able to get mine again, leaving me to spend the rest of my life immunocompromised, along with millions of cancer survivors, small children, and the elderly. Bobby has said, quote, there's no vaccine that is safe and effective. Bobby probably doesn't remember the millions of people who were paralyzed or killed by polio after the vaccine was available. My dad, who grew up in New York City in the 1940s and 50s, does remember. Recently, I asked him what it was like when he got the vaccine, and he said it felt like freedom. So she goes on, and she talks about even having postpartum hemorrhages when she gave birth to her second child, and how she was given a dose of misoprostol. I believe, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, to help to stop the bleeding from the hemorrhaging. This drug is part of the medication for abortion, which at Bobby's urging is currently under review by the FDA. She said, I freeze when I think about what would have happened if it had not been immediately available to me and to millions of other women who need it to save their lives, to get the care they deserve during childbirth. It's, the whole thing is just, she talks about her children, her very small children. She says, she said, there's my daughter, her curly red hair like a flame. So I'm going to cry if I keep reading this. It's not fair. Here is a young woman in her mid-30s who has been given a nightmare sentence, and has taken this opportunity, as a writer, as a daughter, as a mother, to speak out against her cousin, who is, with his insane views and access to power, is going to make sure that more people die in this country. So I wanted to take a moment and tell people about this article if you hadn't seen it. you know, it can't be an accident that she chose to publish this today of all the days. Um, so anyways, Tatiana Schlossberg, just know that we are thinking of you and we are so terribly sorry, although that does not seem those words sort of seem empty when you read an essay like this. Can you share the link? Certainly can. Again, this might be through a paywall. Let me see if I can copy paste this into the chat here. Here it is. Yep, I just put it into the chat here. Guessing she's very ill at the moment. Yes. And listen, she talks throughout the end of it about that she's going to die and her children never. I mean, it's just the whole thing is just so horrendous, but very courageous to use her platform and her privilege really to speak on it, and speak about what her cousin is doing to this country and to the world. So, anyways, I hate to end things on such a sad note, but you know, I read it this morning and I gasped. I really did. So, you know, our thoughts are with the Schlossbergs, and you know, the Kennedys who aren't doing bad things to this country. So alas, everyone. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I don't know if you'll see us again, Julie and myself, probably not, unless there's something really crazy. If I have to jump on here by myself, I will. But everyone, please take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed some of the gossip from Ryan Liz's Substack. I'm sure this won't be the last time that we are talking about that either. So everyone, please take care of yourselves. You know, cherish the moments we have with each other and even with ourselves, because we never know how much time we have. It doesn't matter who you are, you know, it's, you know, makes everything just puts things into perspective. So everyone have a great weekend, and hopefully there won't be any more breaking news this weekend, so everyone can put your phone down and take a rest. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you later.